Hello, welcome back to Senior Moments. I'm Ashley McEwen. We have Michigan's reverse mortgage specialist, Randy Whitmire, along with us, of course. And he has brought Dr. Mike Osborne with Superior Family Chiropractic Care. And you're located at 23 in Hayes,
yes,
which is in Shelby? Is
yes,
it on the west side of Hayes?
Actually, the southwest corner.
Southwest corner, okay. And we've talked a little bit about the displays that we have here and what the medicines, the amount of medicine that people take in healthcare. And maybe you can just continue to go on with a few more of the, as far as what people should do to take better care of themselves.
Sure. Again, big question. We'll try to answer in a short version. But what happens is when people come in the office, and what we've seen over the last 14 years is people really work diligently at their whole lifetimes at developing problems. And then what happens is the last thing that shows up as a symptom, and usually it's the first thing to go away also, okay? But you gotta remember that we're designed for one thing, one major thing, and that's motion. If you look at from a physiology standpoint, you look at who our ancestors were and everything else, we really haven't changed a whole bunch in a long time. But what did they do? They moved, and they moved in copious amounts. And then, again, what do? We sit. So one of the things that we can really do is really learn what's required to express health and be well, okay? And one of the things, obviously, is you need a healthy spine. If you look at your spine, I mean, it's critical because without being healthy, you're never going to get what you need out of your nutrition, physical fitness, and even from an emotional standpoint. But if we can show people what they need to do from a nutritional standpoint, but we can show people also what they need to do as far as physical fitness, and also in our office, and we see some just wonderful changes.
Mike, let me ask you a question about seniors in particular. Obviously, the senior demographic, they're susceptible to things, obviously due to aging. We talked about in one of our shows, osteoarthritis and lumbago, rheumatism, and we know there's some natural cures out there, but chiropractic plays such an important part in this. What percentage of your clients do you see, that may be seniors? What are some of the characteristic diagnosis that you see with seniors, and can we look at that with some hope on the horizon, that there is some light at the end of the tunnel for those seniors who may think that some of these conditions are permanent?
Sure. And I think a misconception that you see is that people say, well, I'm becoming arthritic, it's my age. And age really is not synonymous with arthritic changes, okay? Now a damaged joint, and now there's a time factor that goes into place, and one of the ways I explain it is, let's say you take an x-ray and you put that up on the view box, okay, and you see specific joints that are arthritic, or what you call osteoarthritis, which is it's arthritic, and it's an arthritic joint. But the other ones are fine, okay? So if all those joints are the same age, which they are, it's not synonymous with age. It's just that those particular joints have been damaged, and now there's a time factor that comes in. But what we know, regardless of what stage of degeneration, there's different stages of degeneration, you can either reverse that or at least stop it and add quality back to that person's life, regardless of whether they're 92 or 72 or 52 or whatever.
Now your mom's always telling you, sit up straight, put your shoulders back. Are those things that, just the little things like that, just to sit back, is that going to help
Everything makes a difference. I mean, if you look at, the amount of time that we sit now, sitting behind with a mouse, or even in school, my Peyton's going into first grade. What do we teach? My wife actually teaches first grade. What do kids do now in class? Basically.
Yeah.
And then you do that, throughout the rest of your life. And if you look at, again, what we're designed for, we're designed for motion. It really takes its toll as time goes by. Now what happens is you get into your 60s, a lot of times you don't start to manifest symptoms until you're in your late 50s or early 60s. But again, a lot of times you've been sort of developing or diligently working at developing these issues over a long period of time.
So is this something, well, we were talking about a little bit as far as nutrition and things like that, to prevent things, and obviously that's what it seems like, everything's solved by a good diet and working out. Is that two of the main things to help keep a spine healthy too?
Sure, without a doubt. And the thing is good nutrition obviously helps our overall well-being. Also, physical fitness, we're again designed to move. Weight-bearing exercise is critical to our overall health. But also when we look at the spine, you know, the way I explain it to our practice members is when we look at exercise, exercise will never take the place of chiropractic, and chiropractic will never take the place of exercise. They're apples and oranges, but the end result is, you know, the same, you know, better health. So what we do, what we explain to people is, if we say, well, if we can show you what we can do as far as changing this or reversing or at least stopping it, and then get them started on a exercise program and better eating habits, then we know we've you know, helped that person quite a bit.
Because I was just watching television today, and they had a study on obesity and this related to spinal injuries, and they were, well, like you said, sitting, like if you're sitting behind a desk all day, you don't get as much exercise, and the people that are gaining weight is putting more pressure on their spine, they develop more problems. Is that true, that it can develop faster if you're more overweight?
Without a doubt. I mean, when you look at anybody that's obese or anybody's carrying extra weight, I mean, that's you're crippling your weight-bearing joints. Okay, and yeah, I mean, it makes sense from a physical standpoint that, you know, those joints aren't mobile, they're wearing out quicker. Right. You know, without a doubt.
And that's typically too, you know, if especially guys, you know, carrying a paunch, for instance. You know, those stomach muscles are connected to your back muscles. And so most of the time, that's part of, I'm not going to say the entire problem, but certainly a major part of your lower back problems, you know. And then when you know, get together with Dr. Mike and actually go through some of the tune-ups, you know, to understand, first of all, what went wrong, what's out of balance, what's out of kilter here, and then to get that back, you know, where it needs to be. Then you'll start, you know, again, everything, it's sort of like a major accident at an intersection. There's not just one factor or fix on this thing. It takes a series of things to really pull it all together to make it happen.
You're really talking about changing the person's lifestyle, and a lot of things that we learn, you know, just aren't true as far as, you know, as far as our health is concerned and everything else. And one of the main things we know that's passed down from family to family a lot of times is just these, you know, these bad habits, and they just become ingrained and everything else. And you know, again, one of the things that we always want to do is we want to try to elicit change, you know, with these people and show them what they need to do, not only inside the office. Chiropractic is great, but just like you were saying, Randy, is we need them doing certain things outside the office as well.
All right, well, don't move, seniors. We'll be right back with more Senior Moments and more from Dr. Mike Osborne.